You know, I lived a life that I couldn't have imagined, but actually I lived. But my story in my Greek drama, it's about my journey, but more it's about Greece's journey.
It's really good to see you again after all these years.
It's very good to see you again.
Well, let me start almost at the beginning of your book, actually more closer to the beginning of your life. Serving your country, public service is something that you've been devoted to from a very young age as well. Why? Why public service?
You know, I recall the time that I was a young lawyer, a young mother, living in Athens. And it was a grey city, grey atmosphere. You remember this nephos that everybody, even New York Times and LA Times, if I remember well, say, now it's confirmed. It's the worst atmosphere around all nations, you know, among nations of Europe. And great people, without smiles. So I wanted to offer them something. Literally, I mean, to work for them. So my service starts back when I was running to get elected as Athens City Councillor, as a councillor that should stand by people. This is what I was saying. And then it went throughout my 2 elections into Greek Parliament, and of course, when I called the world, and we won the Olympics for Athens 2004, and it has culminated during the preparation and the Olympics of 2004.
And you're really saying, though, to people, to all Greeks, is public service is important, not just for you, for everyone. And leadership is important. So how do you define leadership?
You know, for me, a leader can give people the possibility to envision a future for themselves that they may not have envisioned by themselves. Leader is somebody who gives you the insight of the future and helps you, urges you to find your own role in achieving it. And what is a leader? I'm sure we agree. And the young people, they will agree more. Somebody who leads by example. Somebody who sacrifices. Somebody who does hard work. Is a workhorse, not a show horse. Somebody who tells the truth. Somebody who asks people what they can do for their community, for their city, for their country, for their life. Inspire people, motivate people. Look what happened during the preparation of the Olympics. It took not just the city of Athens, the whole country, a small country, and by comparison to other countries, but they've done it, I mean, it was so small, so short of resources, but we had this spirit of doing things, this aspiration. In a way, we wanted to, like, rebrand the name of Greece. And we did it. Why? Because we cut red tape, we overcame bureaucracy, we broke many glass ceilings,
and glasses,
we didn't take a no for an answer, you know. There is no such thing, it was no such thing like Mission Impossible. Imagine, and you remember,
that
we organized games in 4 years instead of 7.
And people didn't believe you could do it. They always said they could do it.
But it was the whole country. If I have to put a label on the effort, I should label Team Greece.
What was your most profound moment, do you think, in that whole process, from getting the bid through the, the last days of the Olympics?
The decisive moments, it was when President Samaranch of the International Olympic Committee declared Athens the winner of the 2004 Games. And then I remember when President Roque described the games as magical, dream games. And in between these 2 points, it was a time of the opening ceremony that we showed a brand new country, a modern country that keeps in balance the heritage and the great values and the performance.
I'd like to move to talking about mentors, because you focus a lot on young people, and that's what the next generation is about. You had mentors in your life, correct? Including your husband, Theodore?
Sometimes you get inspired by a person, by a legend. Sometimes you get inspired by people. In my case, I have to say that I got inspired, surprised, and in a way, in a kind of a wave of admiration, what I accepted is that Greek people, they have a great capacity of achieving things, of surprise the world, with a can-do approach, and with a sense that they are doing that for the country without asking anything back. You remember how many thousands of volunteers we had?
With the great uniforms that you wore as well.
Yeah, of course I wore. I mean, everybody wanted to wear the volunteer uniform, you know. We went around and everybody was proud to show that he or she is in service of the country. These are amazing moments that we, in a way, showed what a can-do attitude can do. And this is, in a way, what I write in my Greek drama, what we can achieve with the can-do attitude. If you are a young person, a woman or a man, and you want to change the life of your community, of your city, even of a nation, of your country, you can do it. You can be the author of your own story.
But who helped you? Who were your mentors?
The thing is that I always connected with people. You know, I write about my early days in Crete, in a tiny village, in Embaros. The village was where my father was born. My father was the first one to teach us what are the values of life, apart from history lessons, you know, of course, that we got inspired. You know that he had a dream for me to be an archaeologist, but I'm a very passionate person, you know, and very fast. And I like, so probably the artifacts should be in danger. The thing is that he taught us how to connect with people, no matter gender, no matter the economic status, no matter the class, no matter wherever they live, no matter what is their profession, if they are very important people or hard-working people, that we have to respect them and connect them and greet them and be together. This is a lesson that followed me through our lives. And that's why I taught my kids the lesson, you have to connect with people. It doesn't matter if you have money to buy an important gift. Your thank you over the phone or live or your handwritten card or letter shows a lot. And this is the way that I created my steps in life, connecting with people. Running as a city councillor, campaigning for the Greek Parliament, connecting with people. No matter what it was their belief, no matter where they lived, I wanted just to be close to them, to hear to their ideas, to tell them that the problems, they are common, no matter if you write to the right, to the left, to the leftists, you're socialist, you're conservative, no matter what, we have common problems and we have to face them and tackle them together. And this is what I've done when I was going around the world to convince the International Olympic community that we are worth of it. But the change it was at that time that it's not that we deserve it by
just
right.
Because it's Greece, right.
We want it on merit. Check on us, test us, and trust us. We can deliver.
But your road was not always easy, even through the Olympic bids.
It was never easy.
Well, not easy
it was
at
never
all.
easy.
You wrote some choice words in the book about
but
what people
you know,
called you
the good
sometime.
thing about life is that there are challenges.
Right.
And there are always ways to prove to ourselves that we can overcome.
What was the hardest
And what is
for
the
you?
most important thing? To achieve dreams, to do well in life, and not just for your life, but in the life of the people surrounding you, of your community, your city, your country.
What were the biggest obstacles, though?
And, you know, as a young lawyer, a young woman, a young mother, who wanted to enter to serve? And I had no political connections, no family name, no money, no sponsors, nothing, and I had to come up with something to make myself known, because I was speaking to people about my work, but in a way there were so many legends in politics around me that many people disappointed me. You know, you will do nothing, you are just the scapegoat, maybe the face of a young woman, the party needs a lot of women to show that they respect them and so on.
Just show.
Déjà vu, to show that they respect them. And I came up with a basil seed story. Basilikos, because it's, at the beginning we thought about plants, but as you know, basilicum cannot survive even one day without water. Right. And then, the much cheaper solution, it was the basil seeds. And so, we made them and we gave them to thousands of Athenians, just to show them the connection with the Greek home, with the smell of summer, greener environment, and the seed of hope and rebirth. Like these seeds, people, they can take the seeds of their inspiration, of their dreams, of their concrete projects, and to be confident and convinced that they can do a change.
But you also write about difficulties, obstacles because you're a woman. And you also write about specifically helping women. You write, I tend to be biased in favor of women. Why?
What I've done in my life, I've done one thing: to make the most of every opportunity, even if they didn't look as opportunities to others. Being bold, be persistent and persevere. Break a glass ceiling, or 2, or 10, or 100 if you have to. Don't take no for an answer. Create your own story. Make people believe in you. Don't take anything as granted as well. There are challenges and there are always ways to overcome. Connect with people. Form coalitions. And as I told you before, there are always ways to show that you can do it. And then these young people, they can be an inspiration to others.
Where did you find the strength, though? Because, I mean, you also write about evenings of tears through what you had to go through hours of getting the Olympics to get off the ground, and more. And you know,
I think that we have to have this dream, this goal, to be always in here and in here, and have the courage that we ask from our leaders to show, the courage to do it, to turn a life around, to change destinies. And probably swimming all year round in the cold Aegean Sea probably gave me some more strength, you know. No, you're right. Many times I was disappointed. Many times I cried. Many times I wanted to quit. But you know what kept me going? The belief of the Greek people. At the moment, and for years, they're coming to me. People in the streets, you know, wherever. Are we going to do it? Θα προλάβουμε? Are we going to do it? And they were thinking with horror, the humiliation, if we couldn't do it. This, and what made me really crazy and furious, the mistrust of others that we cannot deliver. And that was a moment that, not just because of me, but because of the motivation that transcended the society, you know, and went to everybody. And I don't speak just the organizing committee or the public sector who changed in an amazing way, or the judicial system, you know, about citizens, that they wanted to prove that they are good, that we can host games, that they are good for Athens, good for the athletes, good for our guests, good for the country, good for the world.
So you didn't have any doubt?
I had to show that I have no doubts, but at the same time to ask people to give their best. And I was giving my best, more than my best. As I told you,
I saw the results.
You need sacrifices.
Where did you get, like, as a person, you come from modest beginnings, you write about that in your book.
Very modest, yes.
Very modest. A loving family. You've also had extraordinary experiences, you've talked about them. And yet you know, and all royalty and others you've met and what you've been part of, Harvard Kennedy School and so on, and yet you marvel. You still call yourself that little girl from Angelopoulos. You know, you marvel at where you've come.
You know, I lived a life that I couldn't have imagined. But actually I lived. But my story in my Greek drama, it's about my journey, but more it's about Greece's journey. And the thing is, like, even if a story doesn't happen in the United States, it's like I lived the American dream back in Greece.
Let's talk about back in Greece right now. It's a very depressed place, in dire economic straits, politically kind of a mess.
You know, it saddens me, it makes me, really, it's heart bleeding to see the country from the high of the Olympic Games to the low of this crisis. And what saddens me is that we had the blueprint. If the governments, they could take this kind of Olympics case study, things should be different in the country. Because in a way, they abandoned the new approach that the people they had, that they can do it, that they can cut red tape, they can act like one, they will be disciplined, they can deliver on time, they can deliver under budget. That was once, I couldn't say in a lifetime, but that was in the recent history once. Okay, it's like, I feel like we passed the baton and they dropped it.
There was a new modern Greece, a Greece that you called a country in motion. Do you have any confidence that Greece will be back in motion again?
Yes. I believe they are the seeds of rebirth. There are lessons in our recent history, in our eternal values, in this kind of global heritage that has reached all countries, all planet, and gave important lessons to everybody around the world. And if we use these lessons and these values, we can do that again.
So as
I told you, I believe very much in Greek people. They have great capacity. But the thing is, one thing is to believe in things. The other thing is to act. If you have a passion, you have to turn into action. And you don't have to have the label of politician to do that. That's why I was involved with the President Clinton, the Clinton Global Initiative. That you can do a lot for your community, for your city, for your country, for the world, by turning your passion into action. And this is why we created this Angelopoulos Public Leaders Program in Harvard, in Kennedy School. So to ask people, leaders that they serve the country with success, to share lessons learned, to refresh their knowledge, to interact with students, with youth around the world, and with faculty, and come out again in the society and the community to offer something more. And I don't talk just about this good program that has to do with leaders. I speak about the future leaders, the youth. You know that next month, 12 students, very knowledgeable, young students from Greek universities, they will go to Clinton Global Initiative University. And these people, they are selected among more than 200. It was so difficult actually, because they were all so capable, so well equipped, you know, so ready to do something. They had concrete, doable projects. So they will go there, they will share lessons and experience with another 1,000 students from America, from around the world, and they will come back to implement this knowledge. So, I believe in people but more I believe in young people. That they can make, in a way, you know, sometimes I think that it's like this generation, we are the ball, you know. And this youth is the arrow that dreams, I mean, years ahead of us and can really make this planet different.
You also wrote that you want to be an inspiration. You are inspirational in your book. What makes you an inspiration to these young people?
If you don't need to have a title of a politician to do things in your country, I believe that there are many ways that you can contribute, many ways to show to people that you want to do things not for you, but for them, and in a way inspire them to do the same. I believe in young people. I'm blessed to have 3 grown-up kids, and I admire the way that they want to do things in their life. They want to achieve things. Young people, they have a great capacity to change things around. They need to pursue a dream, to forge alliances, to communicate, to dare to tell people, either the leadership, that things like this they have to change, and in a way to shape their own future. This, it will be good for all of us.
Mrs. Angelopoulos, thank you. It was a pleasure, Madam Ambassador, to see you again.
Thank you so much.